Hi, thanks for coming in. Happy Saturday. I hope you're doing well. Country Mouse! Fran, hi! You just missed the chimes, Fran. They'll be on again. I turned off the heater so we can hear them. I'm doing an experiment, so don't get excited. These are my French tips. This hand has one coat and you can still see the tips. This hand has two coats and you can still see the tips. So I knew you'd be happy, Fran. I'm doing an experiment, friends, because I miss the red and the pink nails, from back in the day at the Dollar Tree when you could buy them. And they were the Squovels. Do you remember? Were they LA colors, or were they came in a little piece of cardboard with a little plastic thing, and the nails were in the plastic thing? I loved them. I love them. Fran, you know me. I'm not an experimenter, Fran. I'm not an experimenter. How are you doing, Country Mouse? Hi, thank you for coming in. Happy Saturday. I just thought we'd get together. Wednesday to Wednesday live seems like such a long time not to touch base, doesn't it? It certainly does. And it's quiet here on a Saturday night at 8 o'clock, and I've gotten all my things done. Oh, do you, Fran? Do you? Yeah. Fran, I'm pretty particular. Love what is that, Jen? What is that, Jen? The croissant. Thank you. Back to being cold. Yeah, you woke up to snow again today. Jen, do you have snow up there? Jen, remind me about croissant again in a few minutes, because I want to talk about something that I was a little bit irritated about. Fran, though, I'm real particular about my nails. I like the Squoval tip, right? And I like the French, or a real pretty blue undertone red, or a real pretty like hot pink. You have rain, Fran? We have rain, Fran, too. We certainly do. Croissant. In a few minutes, Jen, in a few minutes. So this is the polish. I don't mean to be difficult, Fran, but we like what we like. This is the polish. It's called Believe Beauty. I don't know where it's from. I found it up in the cupboard. You're getting snow. You were 60 yesterday and 27 today. Welcome to Michigan. Country Mouse says the same thing, Jen. Country Mouse says the same thing. I know, right? I watched Max this morning. Let me tell you something. He has been on it. He has been on it. He certainly has. Except he got a haircut. I thought he looked very eccentric with his hair. You know what I mean? And people in the comments were saying stuff about his hair, and he got his hair cut. I know, Fran. I know. I love you, Fran, just the way you are. Hi, Karen. How are you? Happy Saturday. So glad you're here. So glad you're here. Welcome to the circle on Instagram, Karen. So I found this, right? I found this in the cupboard, right? And this is called Razzle Dazzle. I'm not sure where it came from. Maybe Dollar General. I'm not sure. It's a real hot pink. You're less than a mile from the lake, and they changed everything. Yep. So glad, Karen. Happy Saturday. Do you have rain there, Karen? It's raining here. It's raining here. But I've been listening to Max, right? Because we've got these weird storms that are coming like down and over across from Canada. And it's a very vibrant, it's more of a summer. I wish it had more red in it. Do you know what I mean? I need to spend some time at the Walmart looking at the nail polish, because I can buy the nails naked, right? I can just buy the nails naked and paint them myself and then put them on, right? So if I could find a beautiful blue undertone red and then buy the nails naked, right? Which I think I can get them at Dollar General, then it would be perfection, right? Then I could have red nails, and then I could have the hot pink nails, and then I could have the French nails, right? Because I'm not a blue, Fran. I'm not like a metallic blue. I don't do the decals that, what are that called? Nail Street or Street Nails or something, where it's the decal that everybody's been doing. I'm not that, Fran. I'm just not that. And that's okay. I don't have to be that, right? I don't. But I'm not like a metallic, I'm not like, now I do have a black pair that I got a couple years ago at Halloween, but I've never been bold enough to put them on. It would have to be the right thing, you know what I mean? But I do have a black pair, and I think they're kind of pretty. I think they're kind of pretty. Yeah, I do my own too, Fran. I do my own too. Just glue them on. Of course, let me tell you something. I remember when COVID hit, right? Remember when COVID hit? A lot of people learned to do their own nails, right? And to do their own hair. And that's when a lot of people realized that they could do their nails and their own hair and save a lot of money. Because I remember watching girls during COVID, like doing their hair like it would be done at the hairdresser with the foils. And I remember watching, women do their fills for their acrylics and stuff at home and just learning how to do it at home, right? So, but we do what we do, right? We certainly do. Can you believe it's the 10th? It's the 10th of January today. I know, right? It is going by so fast. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I think if I get a nice day, I might do a winter garden walkabout just so we can see how dull everything looks out there, right? And start looking forward. The seeds are out at Walmart. I bought catnip seeds last night. I bought teddy bear sunflower seeds last night. That's going to be fun. And I bought basil seeds. So, hi, Andrew. Happy Saturday. Do you have a friend, Karen? He seems to know you. But anyway, it's very exciting because the gardening stuff is coming out. So everybody's getting very excited about that, right? And they're putting out all the, the hoses and all the stuff. And so that's exciting. And lots and lots and lots of clearance. I am going to have a secondhand. Oh, good, Mom. Hi, happy Saturday. Glad you're here. Glad you're here, Mom. Don't be creepy, Mom. Just for warning you. There is a lot of clearance all over the store, and I am going to have a very nice secondhand living haul on Monday. So get ready, friends. Get ready with your beverage, and you'll like the haul. There is clearance all over the place, and my buy ahead Miyagi, which, believe it or not, I do have a buy ahead Miyagi, friends. I have a Miyagi for everything. I certainly do. You need a Miyagi for everything. You certainly do. um, would be very proud of me because I've gotten more gifts for Christmas of 2026. And just to clue you all in, Christmas is December 25th, 2026 this year. Just keep that in mind, friends. You're going to hear numerous announcements here at Lilleybugglane about that. Okay, let's talk about the croissant, right? So you all know, because I mentioned it on Wednesday, because Wednesday was the premiere night for The Masked Singer. And we all know that Louise loves The Masked Singer, and Fran does too. And Catgrass, okay. Let me know if you need seeds, Fran. So anyway, you know she loves The Masked Singer, right? And typically what she does is she shows me the costumes of everybody before the season starts. Well, she didn't do it this year. I know you do, Fran. I know you do. But listen to what I'm going to say. Okay, listen to what I'm going to say. So Thursday morning before she went to work, we had a little bit of a discussion about The Masked Singer and who went home week one, first night, right? And of course, it was Julie and Todd Chrisley, right? And we know the Chrisleys, right? And they were the croissants. That their costume was the croissants, right? And they sang Jailhouse Rock, which was hilarious. I didn't see it, but Louise was telling me about it. So I don't know what I was doing on social media, but I saw a four picture square of some costumes, and one of them was the croissants. Can I tell you something? The first thing, right? Oh, they didn't show them this year, Fran. That's probably why she didn't show them to me. The first thing I thought when I saw the Chrisleys in their croissant costumes, the croissants looked burnt. The croissants looked burnt. They didn't look like buttery, flaky, yummy croissants. They didn't. They looked like they had been left in an oven that was maybe running 10 degrees too hot for like maybe 10 minutes too long. Do you know what I'm saying? They did. They did not look like buttery, warm, flaky croissants. And then I got to looking at the picture, right? Because I thought to myself, those are burnt. Oh, okay. The next thing I thought to myself as I was looking at the picture, because it was 4 pictures, and the one down in the corner was the croissants, which were the Chrisleys, right? Am I spoiling something, Fran? Am I spoiling something? I don't think I am. Am I? Hi, Kelly. Hi, Miss Mary. Happy Saturday. So glad you're here. We're just talking about The Masked Singer and the fact that the croissants looked burnt. The Chrisleys, their costume. But anyway, as I'm looking at it, I am, Fran. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Am I really? Fran, are you joking with me? Am I spoiling alerting it? Oh, well, whatever. We're all adults. Anyway, let me finish my story. Oh. Okay, well. I figured out by looking at the croissant costume, you could make that costume super easy, because do you know what that croissant reminded me of? Pantyhose that were wound around the croissant shape. It reminded me of pantyhose. You know what I'm saying? Like tan pantyhose, right? That's what it reminded me of. So I thought to myself, well, that would be really easy to make. I love the costumes. I think they're super fun. They're super. I would love to see a show like behind the scenes where they make the costumes. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, friends. Ruined it for people. I certainly did. Oh well. Oh well. Nothing new. Nothing new. So glad you're here, Kelly and Miss Mary. Wouldn't that be a good costume, Karen? You've watched it since the second season, you think? I don't know how long Louise has been. I'll have to ask her. I'll ask her how long she's been watching it. I'll ask her. But it's gotten chilly here. Haven't. Oh, you haven't watched The Masked Singer since the second season. Okay. Okay. Kelly, it's okay. You've watched it since the beginning, Fran. Yeah. I think I've kind of dipped into it every once in a while. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a fan of the judges. So, you know what I mean? And you can't tell me they don't know who it is. And I'm certainly not a fan of Jenny McCarthy. I'm certainly not a fan of hers. So, and I think that Ken guy, didn't he get run off? He got ran off by something. You've seen a few moments of it too. Yeah. Yeah. It's something to watch. There's not a lot of good stuff on TV anymore, right? There's not a lot of good stuff. I'm trying to get Louise to watch like Murder, She Wrote or The Golden Girls. Now, when she was at school in college, a lot of people watched Friends, but she didn't like Friends. She is her mother's daughter, right? Because I never liked Friends either. Friends was a canary in a coal mine. It certainly was. Think about it. Think about it, because it was a canary in a coal mine. But I'm trying to get her like to watch Murder, She Wrote. I just remember all these fun half-hour sitcoms back in the day. Do you know what I mean? And there is nothing like that on now. There's nothing like that on now. So anyway, friends, you don't care about the judges, Fran? Yeah. Murder, She Hopes. Yeah, Fran. There's a couple of videos, Fran, that kind of do like a deep dive into Friends and Frasier. Yeah. Yeah, Frasier was pretty good. Frasier was pretty good back in the day. Yeah. And then as it got towards the end of the series, do you know what I mean? It started to get a little bit crazy, right? It started to get a little bit crazy. But Seinfeld. Yeah, I like Seinfeld too. I like Seinfeld too. Yeah. Yeah. I like watching the old stuff too. I like watching the old stuff. I've told you all before, I was never a Little House on the Prairie fan. I was a Waltons fan. I did like Dallas. I remember watching Dallas. I remember watching Phil Donahue. Love Phil Donahue. Unsolved Mysteries. Loved Unsolved Mysteries. I just remember watching, like, growing up, just like, these sitcoms. I never watched Kate and Allie. I Dream of Jeannie. I remember that. I never watched, like, Kate and Allie. I never watched, what was the other one? With Valerie Bertinelli. The Odd Couple. I remember that. I do remember that. Yes. Yes. Sally Jesse Raphael, Mom. Yes, Karen. Yes. No, it didn't. It didn't, right? It didn't. It didn't. But it was something new. You know what I mean? Laverne and Shirley, One Day at a Time. One day at a Hi, Kimmy, how are you? One Day at a Time. I never watched that. I don't think I did. Now, I did watch Good Times. Facts of Life. Occasionally I watch Facts of Life. Nice to see you, Kimmy. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, but there's just not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. There's a couple of documentaries on Netflix that I want to watch. Remember I told you I watched, I watched Roseanne back in the day. Not a whole lot though. Not a whole lot. I watched The Good Neighbor. We talked about that. Thank you. The Cosby Show, I remember. Yeah. What else did I watch? Knots Landing. I got into not the Jeffersons, absolutely. Maude. And then what was the one with it was a spin-off of the Mary Tyler Moore Show. And it was her friend, not Marlo Thomas. Now I never, Rhoda, that was it. You're on it, Karen, you're on it. I remember watching that too, right? I remember watching that. I liked watching Saturday morning cartoons when I was a kid. Oh, I loved that. I loved the Smurfs when I was a kid. Josie and the Pussycats, love that. Never a big fan of Scooby-Doo, never a big fan. I liked, what was it called? The Justice League? Never watched that, Fran. I never watched that. I never did. And 8 is Enough. 8 is Enough. Rhoda Morgenstein. 8 is Enough. I watched Alice. I remember. He-Man. Yeah. Speaking of which, the Hulk. I watched the Hulk, right? I loved watching $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman. So that kind of dates as to when I kind of watched a lot of TV. Yeah, loved Alice. Loved Alice. Three's Company. Yep. Kelly. Yep. Three's Company. I did watch that. And you know what's really funny? Now that we go back and watch it now, right? It's creepy, right? It's creepy AF, right? Some of the stuff is creepy. I remember the Ghost and Mrs. Muir, right? HR Puffin Stuff, right? Lost in Space. I remember that. The Partridge Family. I remember that too. Yep, I remember that. Brady Bunch. Family Affair. Right? Yeah, it was. You're absolutely right. It was. But, there's not that kind of stuff on TV anymore. Do they still have, wasn't there, this might have been in the 2010s, there was a game show network, and then there was a retro cable channel that showed a lot of, can I say something, Fran? A lot of people use a flip phone, Mom. Can I say something, Fran? I was never a real fan of Lucy. I love Lucy. I liked the stuff that they wore, right? I'm all about that full circle skirt and that double circle skirt. I'm all about that. And I would love to have an outfit that had the cigarette straight legs at the ankle, and then have the skirt that hooks, that is detachable, right? Remember how popular those were back in the day? I'd love to find one of those, Fran. I would. I'd lose my mind. So, but you miss that kind of stuff, and you can buy, you could find it online, right? Streaming somewhere, the Spanish accent. You know what, Fran? That kind of reminds me a little bit of Sofia Vergara. If you go back and watch old I Love Lucy's, Desi Arnaz, that his accent reminds me a lot of Sofia Vergara's accent now, right? Because Fran, that's not her real voice, right? That's not her real voice. Because when you get out of that element, right, even though you still speak, right, Spanish, once you get out of that element, oh yeah, Smash and the Andy Griffith. Yep. Yep. Once you get out of that element, Fran, you do lose the thickness of your accent. I believe it's put on. Yeah, just like Charo. Just like Charo. I don't believe her accent was that thick. I don't. I don't. But I think you can bring it forward. Do you know what I mean? I think you can bring it forward. Right? Like, I'm from the South, right? But a lot of people don't automatically pick up on it up here anymore because I've been up here so long. But I can go down there and very quickly slide right back into it. You know what I mean? Slide right back into it. But I'm not around people that have that, Virginia, Richmond, Northern Virginia accent anymore. So, it's not something that I hear, so I don't like mimic it, right? Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Because like when we went from Richmond up to Long Island, people were losing their minds hearing me talk from Richmond, Virginia to Long Island. I mean, they were losing their minds hearing me talk because it was like I was speaking a totally different language up there. You know what I mean? Just because of the accent and stuff like that. So anyway, so we had leftover enchiladas tonight because I made enchiladas on Thursday, right? And I always make enough that we can have like a second meal and then Chewy can take a lunch, right? Chewy can take a lunch. So we had leftover enchiladas tonight. And Chewy has a lunch for Monday. Did he really, Karen? Stuffed shells with cheese? Is that what you're talking about? Yummy, Fran. They're not authentic enchiladas, Fran. Do you know what I mean? They're not authentic. They're actually my sister's. They're Jibby's recipe, and we've just kind of tweaked it through the years. With the ricotta and everything. Ricotta or what? Ricaccia. Can I tell you something? Let me tell you something. I'm a terrible person, and I'll admit it, right? You all know. Look at these eyes, friends. These are some green-ass judgmental eyes. They certainly are. Oh, chicken fried rice? That's funny, Mom, because February, you've had a protein diet shake. Oh, Fran. Fran, that stuff tastes like yuck, Fran. Eat some food. Eat a nice thick steak, Fran. That's some good protein. That's some good protein with put a big old thick slab of butter on it, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, that sounded like Randy Savage, didn't it? Ah, that would be, you do? TMI, Margaret, TMI. TMI. Let me tell you something. I knew. Okay, now you need to be honest. Okay, you need to be honest. I knew something was coming down the pike very quickly, right? When all of a sudden, everybody was concerned with protein, right? I got to get my protein. How much protein is in this? I got to do my protein and everything, right? I knew something was coming really, really quick, or I knew something was going to be revealed really, really quick, right? I knew it. And it was funny because I had noticed that the carnivore diet And the ketogenic diet was starting to get shit on by doctors and nutritionists and people, right? I knew something was coming down the pike. Okay, Mom. Okay. And come to find out, right? Come to find out, the Ozempic basically eats your muscles, right? Because you lose muscle mass and you lose strength. So the push for the protein on everybody, right? I feel I'm connecting it to the Ozempic explosion, right? And, because never before had there been such this hard push for regular everyday people, right? To be so concerned about their protein, right? It was almost like low sodium, low fat, low sugar diet people. You know what I mean? It became a high protein diet, right? And in the past, the high protein people were elite professional athletes, bodybuilders, right? And I would say the elderly in care homes and stuff, but not to the same degree that the athletes and stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? But when it became everybody talking about the protein, I thought to myself, something is not right. Something is not right. You know what I mean? So anyway, enchiladas, right? And they're not the authentics. They're not. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's gonna come. That's gonna come in pill form, Fran. Here we go, right? Here we go. So all the fatties, not sorry, all the fatties that were afraid to inject themselves with it are now going to be able to pop a pill for it because it is being distributed in pill form now. It certainly is. It certainly is. I just can't even, Fran. I just can't even, right? You all know how I feel about it. And but anyway, so we had enchiladas. Tomorrow night we're having chicken pot pie, right? You know that's one of Chewy's favorite, right? And you remember I have a video on our channel that is the rustic chicken pot pie. So I'm going to be doing chicken pot pie tomorrow night. And then Monday, I'm making a pot of Carrie soup. And we all know about Carrie soup, right? Yum, 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 yum. So I had Chewy pick up a small head of, it is very good, Karen. It is very good. Rustic and warm and just, now I won't have, well, that's not true. I will do a small can of French style green beans, right? The single serving can. I'll do that. And then I'll take a scoop, just a spoonful, like a soup spoonful of the pot pie filling and put that on the green beans and then mix it up. And then that's what I'll eat. Because I believe yeah, Fran. Yeah. Chicken pot pie is good. It's really easy to make too. I mean, there's so many different versions of it and you can do it yourself. You know what I mean? A lot of people like shepherd's pie too, which there are so many different versions of shepherd's pie. Well, I don't know. I know a lot of people do like Marie Callender's. At least they used to. I know a lot of people used to love the Marie Callender's. But I'm going to do the chicken pot pie and we'll have that I'll do my version of it with I'll just take a nice spoonful of the filling and mix it in with my French style green beans. And because if I was to do the crust and everything like that would be too much. So And then Chewy will have enough for lunch. Oh, did you, Fran? Did you? See, now, Fran, I just used 2 of the Great Value frozen pie crusts, and we like the Great Value ones because they're a little bit sweeter than like the Sara Lee, or is it Pet that has the shells? Anyway, I use the one shell to make the top. You just put your filling in the one, and then you take the other one, put it on top, and then take the silver pan off, and then you just kind of seal the edges, and then just kind of fold everything in and make your vents, your steam slits. You know what I mean? It's super good. But pot pie's good no matter what. You know what I mean? It is. It is. So anyway, so I had Chewy get a small head of cabbage, because that's what we use in Carrie's soup in lieu of lasagna noodles, right? It's a way to cut down on the carbs, and Chewy does like the cabbage. Yeah, you can do it all different ways. You can, but it's supposed to get super de-duper cold here. It's supposed to get super de-duper cold. And Mom, I did see Max mention that you guys might get snow, so I did see that. And so we're just trying to, you make pot pie with the slippery noodles. You can do pot pie with anything, I would think. I would think. I like to watch, I found a new channel. It's called, Jen, are you in here, Jen? What's that fabulous beard man's name? Drew, officially Drew Cooks or something. He does a lot of shorts, friends. His channel is mainly shorts, but he does these really quick recipes with shorts. He's good looking. He certainly is. But the recipes are really, really good that he does. And I like looking at the things that he does. But like we've talked about before, we have like a standard menu of items. You know what I mean? I have like 5 or 6 fall and winter standards that we do, and then I just do variations on those. You know what I mean? Like with the enchiladas, they were beef enchiladas, but I can also make them chicken enchiladas. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, Fran, those are real good. Yes, Mom, I did see that. I did see that. That's nice that she was able to get married and find love again. I did see that. I did see that. That was real nice. And I've been watching a lot of like frugal channels just to kind of, see what everybody's saying about budgeting and how they're stocking things. And I think I might do a video for us here at the channel, and just for anybody that may stop by, and just kind of explain how I do our stocking here at Lilleybugglane and how I do our rotations. Because we very rarely, very, very rarely, if ever, run out of anything. Because there's a system that we have here at the house, and everybody knows the system. And as long as they stick to the system, we should never run out. We should never get down to none of something. Do you know what I mean? So, and I'm, February, right? February is freezer always prepared, Fran. Yeah. Yeah, he did suddenly, Mom. He did suddenly. Always prepared, Fran. Always, right? Always. And you do it the way it works for you, right? And when you're looking for inspiration or advice or ideas, right? You want to look to the person that is at the level that you're willing to work at, right? Yeah. Yeah, Karen. Right. Um, because there are people out there that, talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk, right? And in my mind, this is in my mind, right? If you're going to talk about prepping and being prepared and things like that, then you shouldn't be running out of simple ingredients. You know what I mean? And if you're going to talk about batch cooking or cooking ahead or, things like that, then you should not, you should know the definitions of things and know, um, how long things are going to last. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, so maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. But February, right? Because I'm already looking ahead because it's the 10th, friends. Oh my gosh. Can you believe Wednesday, my fabulous Mary Bright calendar, friends, I can't tell you. Just get a calendar. Just get a calendar. That's all you need. You don't need 5 different journals. You don't. Just a calendar. You can write everything down in it. You can even write things about yourself in it, right? Like, for instance, if you want to track your moods, you can do, like, on the side, like a number from 1 to 10, right? And every day you write down, at the end of the day, write down the number from 1 to 10 of how you felt. 1 being shit, 10 being great, right? You can just write it in the corner. And then you don't have to, like, sit there for an hour and write down all your feelings and stuff. That's bullshit, friends. It's bullshit and it's no good for you. Let's not get started on this tonight, right? Let's not get started on this. The 14th. It will be the 14th, friends. It will be the 14th on Wednesday. That is craziness, right? It's craziness. So anyway, you miss the grocery hauls, Kimmy? Do you? Well, I do the clearance hauls and stuff now. On paper, Fran, on paper with a blue pen. I just saw a short today. A neuroscientist did a short on YouTube, and he talked about when you make a list, right? And it's on white paper, use a blue pen, use blue ink, because the color blue triggers your frontal cortex right here, right? It triggers it to start the process of thinking of how to get something done. It was very, very interesting. Karen, no, she does not. She's a working girl now. She is. She's a working girl, full-time working girl. She is. She's making the money. She's making the money. She graduated college. She's Yes, Kelly. Yes. And let me tell you something else too. This is something else I found out that was very, very interesting. And it makes sense, friends. It makes sense. Because, thank you, Karen. Because, right? If you, yeah. That's how Dolly Parton did the typing sound with her nails. If you subscribe to the conspiracy theory, right? That this has been a slow boil, right? To degrade the human race, right? Just a little bit at a time, right? Then this will make sense also, okay? This will make sense also. And I and I had read this, but then I started looking out out, right? And I realized that it could be correct, okay? So we all know what dyslexia is, right? Dyslexia is the condition that people have, right? Usually from a young age. It's not something that you develop as an adult. You do not develop dyslexia as an adult. It is something you have as a child and it continues through your life, okay? It is manageable. It is manageable, okay? Depending on the degree of dyslexia, it is manageable. It has to do with reading and writing, not speaking, right? So if you jumble your words, right, as you're speaking like this, that has nothing to do with dyslexia, right? That's just not paying attention or some kind of neurological short circuiting that you're having in your brain, your wackadoodle brain, right? Fran, you don't hear it. You're not hearing the chimes, Fran? They're pretty loud. So anyway, one of the tricks that they used to use back in the day with dyslexics, right? Yes, you are what, Mom? Yes, you are what? One of the tricks that they used to use back in the day was they used to have dyslexics read and write off of yellow legal pad because they found that for dyslexics, right, there was something. You're hearing the chimes? Yeah, they're pretty loud. And this is my better ear. This is my worst ear. But I'm hearing them, Fran. Fran, do you have earbuds in, Fran? Are you listening on your phone? Are you listening on a tablet? Don't fret about it, Fran. Don't fret about it. Maybe, Fran, maybe. There might be too much ambient noise around you, like in your environment. Do you know what I'm saying? Listening on a tablet. That's not the best audio, Fran. That's not the best audio. Maybe if you tried headphones, you might be able to hear it. Because it's pretty loud. It's pretty loud. Of course, it's all the way in the living room, Mom. Mom, it's in the living room in front of the front windows, right there on the couch table, in between the two chairs. That's where it's at, Mom. But they used to use yellow legal pads, and they used to have dyslexics in school, right, do their work on yellow legal pads, right? And that would help them because there seems to be something about the words on the white paper, right? But if the words were on the yellow paper, the dyslexic did better, right? Well, do you guys see a lot of yellow legal pads around anymore? I don't either. So just something to deep think about, friends, when you're giving yourself your permission to deep think during the week, right? See? You see what you see, right? You see. But yeah, I did hear a neuroscientist today in a short say that to make a list with blue ink on white paper, and it does something in the frontal cortex of your brain, right? Me too. Mom, I like the ones that are like the 5x7s though. I don't like those big ones. I like the ones that are the 5x7s. They used to sell them at the Dollar Tree, remember? I'll have to look and see. Next time I go to AmVets, I'll duck in. Hi, David! David! David, how are you? How are you, David? Well, steno pads are different, Mom. Steno pads are different than a legal pad. David, I hope you're doing okay, David. I've been thinking about you, buddy. Buddy, I've been thinking about you. Look at this. I'm double fisting it, friends. I got cucumber water in this hand. I got green tea in this hand. But let me tell you. So February, right? February is freezer February, right? Now, you know, I bring stuff up from downstairs, which is long term, right? And then when it needs to be restocked, I bring it up here, right? And then it goes into, well, that's longer term. Then in the pantry room is long term. Then our cupboard and pantry closet is daily use, right? So I've got 3 rotations going. And every time we take something out, right, it gets replaced, like either weekly or monthly, depending on what it is. Me too. Me too, Mom. Me too. So anyway, so we're doing freezer February, right? We're going to do freezer February, and you do freezer February because that's the shortest month of the year. It is. And you just do things from out of your freezer, right? David, I'm glad you're good. I'm glad. Are you healthy, David? You don't have a sniffle. You don't have a cough. You're not gimping around on a bad knee or a bad ankle, are you, David? And you're not wearing Crocs, are you, David? Right? We don't do that. I'm glad you're good, David. I'm glad you're good. I hope you've been enjoying all the reels I send you. I know. I'm a crazy girl. But anyway, so we're going to do freezer February, which we have been doing for quite a few years now. And it does help, friends. It does help. So we're going to be doing stir fries, Mom, because I do have some stir-fried vegetables and stuff in the freezer. So we're going to be doing that for February. I decided. So, but you know, you just kind of have to be looking ahead, right? You have to be looking ahead. And then at the end of February, right, I'll give a big shebang to the freezer for the clean out, right? A big shebang on the freezer for the clean out. Chewy will change the filter, the water filter, and we'll clean the ice maker, right? We'll clean the ice maker. I'll clean the entire inside of the freezer, right? And then it'll get restocked from downstairs, right? So that's how we'll do it. But I want it to be as empty as possible at the end of February, you know, before I do it. So I need to do my refrigerator side. Can I tell you, friends, there are just things that I just don't like to do. I know, right? I don't like to do them. And the refrigerator is one of them, but I do need to do it. I need to take everything out. We don't have a lot in our fridge. We don't, because I just can't stand it. But I need to take everything off of the shelves and wash them real good with like warm soapy water. And I need to take the shelving out and clean it. David. Yeah. It is, David. Good. No Crocs. Good. I'm glad. Yes, David. No Crocs. And 2026 over the flu. Was it influenza A, David? Take your zinc, David, and make that healthy elixir. Yeah, right? I know. But I do need to take everything out of the refrigerator and you know, give it a good old wipe down. I need to do that, but oh my gosh, I hate doing that. Which it's not very hard. Do you know what I mean? It's not difficult to do. So, but it's just it's a 5 extra task thing, friends. It's a 5 extra task thing. And let me tell you something. Thank you so much. I love it when you all share things with me, right? I love it, right? Like David being sick, but he's better now and he's taking care of business, right? That makes me so happy, right? That makes me so happy. And people telling me what good dealios they've gotten out, and they send me pictures, and they're like, I'm so excited I got this lamp for $7 and it Googled for 80. I had somebody today or yesterday, I can't remember, because time is just flying by, friends. They told me that they were finishing up their 5th extra task for the week, and it was shredding old paper, like mail, like junk mail and stuff. They were doing their shredding, and that was one of their 5 extra tasks. Can I tell you how excited I was about that? I cannot tell you, friends, how excited that stuff makes me. It's the little things that bring you joy, friends. It's the little things that bring you joy. Can I tell you, I hate that word. That used to be one of my favorite Christmas words, was joy. Yeah. But then, like everything else, flu A, yep. It still got you. Yep. Okay, David. Okay. You keep taking that zinc and that healthy elixir. Look it up. Look it up on YouTube, David, the healthy elixir. And if you need me to send you a recipe or a link, let me know. Did you, Mom? Good for you. You better get rid of a heck of a lot more than 20. Did you, Fran? See, we burn ours. We're lucky because you all know the burn barrel out there, right? We burn ours. So once a month, we have a milk crate upstairs in Chewy's office, and that's where the, like the junk mail with our address on it and things like that, old papers and information, we put it in there. And then once a month, Chewy goes out and burns, because we can burn in the township, which is at the end of the garage. From the end of the garage to the back of the fence is the township, and we can burn back there. So the people across the street, they can't burn, but we can burn. So sometimes we burn other people's stuff too, but that's okay. We're allowed to do that. So, but it's just setting routines for yourself, friends. You know what I mean? Once a month, do your shredding. Once a month, wipe out your refrigerator, depending on how busy your house is and how neat and tidy the people in your house are. You know what I mean? It's just these routine things that you can set yourself to do, and you think to yourself, oh my gosh, that's so boring, or oh my gosh, there's only 2 people that live in our house. We don't have to do that every month. Well, then don't do it every month. Do it every 3 months. Do you know what I mean? But I've been watching I've been watching a few videos about like psychiatry and psychology, and the importance of routines, right? And how it calms your life, right? It allows you to be calm and not run around like a chicken with your head cut off, right? And it doesn't make you inflexible, and it doesn't, you know what I mean? And I know people who think that because I have very set routines that I am inflexible, right? But that's not true at all. That's not true at all. And I'm coming to believe, right, that people that have no routine in their life at all are actually the inflexible ones, right? Fran, listen. Can you hear it, Fran? I hope you can hear it, Fran. It's wonderful. Kelly, no, it doesn't mean only from the freezer, but I do. Are you kidding, Fran? Everybody else is hearing it, right? Is everybody else hearing it? Or am I like, okay. Country Mouse, you hear it too? Okay. I'm not like insane, am I? You can hear it too. Well, we all know you can hear it, Mom. Maybe Fran can't hear it over the blubbering, right? You're crying. You heard it the first time I got it fixed, but you haven't heard it since. You didn't just hear it now, Karen? It just went off for 9. Huh. I wonder what's up with that. I wonder if it's something to do with the internet or something. You know what? It might be blocking the sound because it's cleans the frequencies. It cleans the frequencies, friends. Let me tell you something. David, are you still here? Let me tell you something. You think I'm joking about this, right? You think I'm joking. It's okay, Fran. It's okay. You think I'm joking about this, okay? I'm not joking. Get a clock that ticks for your house, okay? Get a clock that ticks. Get a bell. Yeah. Get a bell. Okay, David, thank you. Get a bell, either a handbell or you all know how much we love our shit show bell, right? Or our segment bell, right? You know how much we love that, right? Get one of those, right? Because I'm going to tell you, it will make a huge difference in your house. It will make a huge difference. You think I'm joking, but I'm not. There's a reason that clocks ticked, right? There's a reason that clocks ticked back in the day. And there's a reason that bells were used back in the day. So I'm just saying, friends, you think I'm all crazy, but that's fine. I've been crazy my whole life. I am my mother's daughter. Kelly, real quick. No, not exclusively from the freezer, but I look in the freezer to see what we have, and I base our meals on that. Do you know what I'm saying, Kelly? So I have like a couple of big bags of stir-fried vegetables, and I have a couple of kielbasi sausages. So we will be doing stir fries, right, in February, so that I can get rid of those bags of stir-fried vegetables and I can get rid of those kielbasis, right? I also have Italian sausage that was brought from downstairs upstairs, right, at the beginning of the year. So I can use those, to do like baked ziti and things like that. So I'm looking at what we have, frozen chicken for pot pies and things like that. So I'm looking at what we have in the freezer, right, and basing our menus on that. It's not exclusively from the freezer. So, and remember too, that a lot of things that I make and they last multiple days for us because there's only three here in the house, and Chewy takes a lunch, but Louise won't take leftovers for lunch. So, yeah, Kimmy. Yeah. And stuff doesn't sit for too long in your freezer. Do you know what I mean? Like I have a couple packages of mozzarella that have been frozen. So, we'll use up that mozzarella too. Yeah. And pick a short month, right? pick a short month. And then that way it empties any older food that is in there, right? And you don't eat as much, right? Well, I'm pretty good about portion controlling here for people, Fran. That's one of the ways that, that's one of the ways. We're not going to starve, Fran. Nobody's going to starve. Nobody's going to starve, okay? So if you eat appropriate portions, right, then, your food will last you, right? I mean, I feel bad for people that have no idea what a portion control is, right? And because, if it comes to a point, right, where food becomes scarce, right, actually scarce, right, they're not going to know what to do, because, I mean, there are people that, you get full very fast. Yeah, I do too, Fran. I do too. Or I make a decision as to how much I'm going to eat. Do you know what I mean? And I don't go beyond that, depending on what the meal is, right? Occasion or meal. Like if it's something special, you give yourself permission to eat that, but this is what you're going to eat, or this is how much of it you're going to eat, right? You don't overindulge in things, right? Unless it's like low carb or no carb, and then you can just eat as much as you want to. So, all right, friends. Well, I think that's about it for a Saturday night loungy chat. I really, really enjoyed getting together with you. I really like doing this on a Saturday night, just real cash, real, nothing special, just kind of, moseying along and chatting wherever it takes us, right? I think it's a lot of fun. And again, it's a good way just kind of midweek for us to kind of, touch base with each other, make sure we're all okay, and share some community and friendship in between our two lives, right? Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Fran. Thank you, Mom. Kimmy, have a great rest of the weekend. So glad you were here. Karen, so glad you were here. Fran, we love you, Fran. We love you. David, I got my eyes on you, bud. Take it easy. If you need anything, let me know. Good night, Kimmy. It was so nice to see you. Country Mouse, have a nice rest of the evening. Jen, have a nice rest of the evening. Stay warm and cozy. I got my fleece tights on, Jen. I do. I got my fleece tights on. And a fabulous croissant. Jody. Aw, that's so nice, Karen. Thank you. That's so nice. I'm so glad we can get together and just kind of, have something to do. A lot of people might get bored or, want somebody to talk to, and this is a way to do it. Okay, David. Okay. I'm glad you're better, David. Are we ready, friends? Fran! Don't let Francesca hear that, Fran. Don't let her hear that. Are we ready, friends? I think we're ready. If you're watching this on the replay, feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you've enjoyed your time here at Lilleybugglane, I would appreciate you leaving a thumbs up on your way out. I'm hoping for 10 thumbs up on our little get-together tonight. So that would make me very, very happy, and I would appreciate it very much. Make sure that your notification bell is on for the channel so you know when we upload a video, go live, or I post something on the community page. And there will be a secondhand living haul coming out on Monday evening. So look forward to that. Maybe you can do a 5 extra task, right? Thank you, Mom. Maybe you can do a 5 extra task while you're listening, right? Or take a nice soak in the tub, or soak your feet, or walk on a treadmill, whatever you want to do. But that video will be out on Monday. Are we ready, friends? I think we're ready. I want to thank everybody for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed our time together as much as I have. I hope more than anything, that you are happy. Look for the glimmers in your days, friends. I hope you're healthy, and we know David is now, so we're very, very happy about that. Take your zinc every day, friends. It is up to us. Let's all say it together. Thank you so much, Karen. Healthy people are not profitable, and we all know that. And I hope you're safe. I certainly do. Know the weather in your area so you can be prepared and not scared. Check out Max Velocity and his new haircut. He's my favorite YouTube weather boy to know the weather that is expected in your area. I think of you all often. You are never far in my thoughts. And we, friends, will be together again soon. Have a great rest of the weekend. Good night.